My name's Heather Yannayon. I work for Summit County Department of Job and Family Services. What Summit County Department of Job and Family Services is we're a human service organization for the county. My role is to work in the community to develop and send out social services that help individuals get on their feet. Specifically, I work in the workforce area and I work in the area for housing and all sorts of different community outreach. So Summit County and Unite Us have partnered in a way to try to develop communication strategies. So very oftentimes we've always relied on sending our customers somewhere for additional help that we can't provide. In my space, we provide SNAP, we provide Medicaid, we provide workforce opportunities. But that other thing that they need, we may not be able to supply. And in the past, it was always, here's a flyer for this place down the street. Cross your fingers, good luck, let's go. Now we're able to actually connect them. And so that is how the initial conversations really got started. But when Unite Us came into Summit County, and actually I came to the first One Continuum, I realized that we would be able to use Unite Us as the backbone for our Benefit Bridge program, because all of our programming relies on community providers to actually deliver the product. My 5-person staff cannot deliver the program, so I have to rely on my community providers to do it, and so that we implemented the system so that we could deliver the program with ease and flexibility, complete transparency, and now we've been able to build upon that for all the rest of my programming. Over my 20-year career, self-sufficiency, building and working on self-sufficiency is kind of what I've done, from reliance on cash assistance to SNAP NT, which is, food assistance. What we've been able to prove is if you help someone become self-sufficient, not only do they cost less in taxpayer dollars or resources, they give back to the community, and then they end up becoming an economic development driver, because now they're able to sustain, spend money, and then contribute to your community. So it pays off in the long run. And there's such a stigma behind individuals that need assistance. But I would say over my career, 90% of the people that I work with don't want to talk to us. And so if you can use a platform like Unite Us to be able to get them what they need, so ultimately they never have to talk to you again, it makes everybody happier. But again, they become better citizens, which makes your community safer, which makes your community healthier. And it does, at the end of the day, create an economic impact. The main improvements, it's easy to talk about efficiency and ROI, right? It's easy to look, Unite Us did the case study for specifically our organization, and there is a large dollar savings and investment. And so that has made it so that we're able to utilize staff time better. Our providers are not getting bogged down with things that they're not good at. Our providers have a heart for the community, and being able to use Unite Us makes it so that they don't have to get bogged down in not doing the work that they want to do. Doing government bureaucratic stuff and paperwork so that they can get paid is not where their talents lie, right? And it can become frustrating. And they'll sometimes walk away from the table because what we're asking for is more than they can do. So what Unite Us has been able to do is level the platform and allow communities to do what they need to be able to do, and then let us do what we need to do. I, however, personally feel that the biggest impact is the fact that I don't feel like we're losing people in the cracks anymore. I feel like I am confident that it's not just a finger cross and a phone call, and then maybe next month I hear that they did get that service from the food bank, or they did get that clothing for their kid. I'm able to see real time Or I'm able to actually even see from that provider that I set that referral up, they accepted it, and my customer never showed up to that organization. So then I can circle back and go, what happened? Why weren't you able to get that clothing? Because it was offered to you. And then you find out there's always more to the story. And so being able to fill in those cracks so that they're not falling in them has really been imperative. Okay, so I think ROI, other than the dollars, is capacity, staff capacity. And I'm not only talking about just hours worked and being able to do more, it's mental capacity. I will say that as I have worked through my programming and I would walk down the aisle, the staff that was working on Unite Us and working with the program had less of an emotional lift than the ones that were doing the old processes. Their days were better. There were more smiles because they weren't bogged down. And that emotional and mental well-being for my staff is just as important because then they can be better for our clients. So there is ROI that I will never be able to measure in dollars, but I'm able to measure it by the fact that I have the lowest turnover in that department. I have the lowest turnover in my division. I have the least amount of HR problems with that. My staff comes to work. My staff loves their job. And having them also be part of building the process with Unite Us, having them part of the team, having them meet the Unite Us staff has really been help them invest in it because they don't feel like it's just something that I bought and gave them and said for them to do. They're actually using it as a practicing tool. And now it's just another partnership. Like the software has turned into a partnership and it's almost a relationship.